you guys, hey buddy, good to see you. I think that everybody here can see that that you're not going to get a fair shake in court. I think that that's what that showed right there, is that you're not going to get a fair shake in court, and that the courts are absolutely terrified of transparency. The courts are deathly afraid of having any public recording or public video of the court proceeding. You guys all saw that. The idea that there would be something being recorded freaked them out beyond all belief. Even though in the beginning of the court case, she said, go ahead and proceed, go ahead and proceed. You guys just saw what the courts in America, the reason why we have millions of people in a dungeon is because of people like that. And I didn't go on and live stream this to try to make the court look bad. They did it all on their own. They denied me due process. They said they didn't get my evidence that I submitted. I didn't get any exhibits. I submitted exhibits. I didn't get any exhibits. So you guys are seeing between Long Island audits and you guys are seeing that you do not get a fair court hearing. The cop didn't submit any evidence that there was no signage. And without signage, how would you know, if you're not from Tempe, that you can't take a right on that road up there? It's absolutely preposterous. And just so you know, this isn't over. It's not even close to over. I'm going to appeal it, and then I'm going to file in federal district court, and that's going to be the process. But you guys can all see that the courts in America are terrified of a video. They're terrified of transparency. That woman run roughshod over my rights, and she didn't even hesitate to not give me due process of the law. The fact that my exhibits magically just didn't get submitted. They just didn't show up. How's that? How did my exhibits not show up? How did my video not show up? And how did the pictures not show up? How was that possible? How did that happen? I just wonder, you can just clearly see. And so it, it's not, let me tell you what it is. It's that you don't get a fair shake in court. That's what it is. It's that you don't get a fair shake in America in court. You heard the judge. The cop submitted no legitimate evidence. He didn't submit any video of me breaking the law. He didn't submit the pictures of the street that he submitted clearly showed that there's no signage. How can a driver possibly know where to turn if there's no signage? How's that even possible? How's that even possible? You guys just saw. And then here's the real caveat for it. In the beginning of the conversation, and I privated the video because I want to respect the court's wishes. They said they didn't want a video of it, that it wasn't legal to make a video, so I took the video down. You guys can see the video doesn't exist anymore. I want to stay within the confines of the law. She said, though, that we're going to go ahead and proceed. Well, I told her I was recording. She didn't say stop recording. I said I was recording. So then the worst part about it was that as soon as she was alerted that we were live streaming the video, boy, did she lose her mind. The idea that people would see that she's not letting me ask questions, that I didn't get to submit evidence, that I didn't get due process of the law. And then she said, you're trying to embarrass the court. No. You're doing that all on your own. You did that all on your own. You didn't let me ask questions. You did. And the fact that there's no signage is a major part of the case. Why would you think about it? Use your logic here. You're going down a road, whether it's south or north, you go to take a right, and the road is closed. You turn around 20 feet, just so you know, your car's 10 feet, you turn around, and then the tip of my car is sticking in the intersection. She didn't allow me to answer or present or ask or do anything in any way, shape, or form that would allow me to present a case for myself. When I pointed out that the officer had no evidence and only his word, she went right over that. And she's like, no, I'm just going to find you guilty on these things. And you have 28 days. No, I have 28 days to appeal. and which is exactly what I will do. But you guys just saw the reason why I have the poster, and the reason why the prison graph goes like this is because Tenney versus Brandoff in 1951 makes it so the judges are immune. That judge, that person on the phone, she's immune. She can do anything she want to me, and there's no repercussions for me. Nothing. She can put me in a dungeon, and then I have to get a writ of habeas corpus to get me out of the dungeon if she just decides that I need to go to the dungeon. When I said, Your Honor, my exhibits haven't been submitted, I recommend that we do an in-person hearing in Arizona, she said no. Well, you didn't get to see my exhibits, so that means I didn't get due process of the law. I submitted my evidence, but for somehow it didn't show up. But for somehow, it's just really, really disheartening that she wouldn't follow the law as the law is written. No, she ruled against me. She said I have a $500 fine, 249 for one, 249 in another, and that's what she said. She didn't. I wasn't in contempt. She just said you're not allowed to record the court. Well, now we know why you're not allowed to record the court, don't we? Now we know why you're not allowed. Why is it? How come you can't record the court? Because it'll show that the court is not following due process of the law. That's why you're not allowed. And that judge, I know you're watching this. Don't think that I don't know you're watching it. You just showed who you are. I didn't. You showed who you are. You're the one who said you're trying to embarrass the court. I never said those words. You did. If the result of exposing what's happening in the court is an embarrassment, that's not my fault. I didn't do that, Your Honor. I have all the respect in the world for you, Your Honor, because you know why? Tenney versus Brandoff says that if I don't respect you and give you the, if I don't give you the, you're the everything, right? Then you can put me in a dungeon. And there's no recourse for you unless I get the Arizona Supreme Court to reprimand you, which is going to take a year while I live in a dungeon. But I didn't set out to embarrass the court. If the court was embarrassed, it was because of the actions taken within that court of law. How's it a court of law when my evidence doesn't get to be submitted? How's it a court of law when you decide how I'm going to cross-examine? How is that? How is that a court of law and order? How is that even possible? I can't even get my head wrapped around it. I don't even understand. How's that even possible? And Your Honor, I know you're watching. God bless you, Your Honor. You had the opportunity to show the world that due process would be carried out. And instead, due process was not carried out. Why wouldn't you continue this over until I can submit my evidence properly? Why is my evidence not relevant? If I don't get to submit evidence to defend myself, well, then I don't get a proper defense, meaning I don't get due process of the law. It's that simple. Just because you're in control or in charge or in power or empowered to be a representative of the law, you are not the law. The law is written. You don't get to decide that I don't get to ask the officer questions because you don't like the question, or you say the signage isn't relevant. The signage is 100% relevant. Why would any sane driver who's over the age of 40 years old, why would I make a right on a closed road? So the fact that there's no signage is a major event to this. And there is causation. The causation of me taking a right-hand turn where the road is closed is because there's no signage. It just has me you gotta be freaking kidding me. And now you're gonna watch back my live stream and you guys are at the court watching this, and all you people at the court are watching this, and you're like, oh my God, what charges can we charge him with? How quickly can we put that man in a dungeon? That's what's going on at Maricopa County Court right now, at the court of Tempe, wherever she said it was. What's going on right now is they're trying to figure out what they can charge me with. Well, I took the video down, but in the video she said, let's just proceed. That's what she says in the video. So there it is. We're just going to proceed. After I'd already informed the court that I was recording it. So now what they're doing right now is trying to figure out a way to lock me in a dungeon. Trying to figure out a way to snatch my liberty. For what? What have I done so wrong? Who have I hurt? Where's the victim? Where's the crying babe? Where's the injured man? Where's the child who's been damaged? And they're at that court right now trying to figure out a way to lock him in a dungeon. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Don't be surprised if I go to Arizona and get arrested. For what? Because I challenge due process and that the law should be upheld. That's what I do. And so because of that, we need to get rid of him. We better put him in a dungeon. She told me after I ended the live stream that I had broken the law, that I was breaking the law. We have rules and you're breaking them, is what she said. Since when is a traffic court not a public hearing? What better way to get to the public than through the digital era? What better way to get through the public? The public has a right to know what's going on. The public has a right to know you denied me due process. And now you want to throw me in jail for what? Because your feelings are hurt? Because I challenge you? Under the Constitution, under the Arizona Constitution, under the United States Constitution, under due process of law? Absolutely astounding. Just astounding. Just absolute astounding. It really is. I got to plug in this phone for a second or it's going to die. You guys saw it, man. You guys saw it. The reason why our prisons are packed, the reasons why our prisons are completely packed is because of situations like that. They want to find you guilty of something, and if you in any way create transparency for a public hearing, well, then we're going to try to figure out a way to charge you with a crime to put you in a dungeon. That's what you guys just saw. That's what you guys just saw. Hey, Work Lion, thanks, man. Appreciate you. But you see what I'm saying? Do you guys follow what I'm saying to you? They don't want you guys to see what's happening in courts. We need to change the rules. Every single court in America needs to be live streamed. There's no reason in the world why we should hide what happens inside of courtrooms. You just saw she wouldn't let me answer questions. She wouldn't let me ask questions. She wouldn't let me present the argument that I wanted to present, which the causation of me making an illegal right-hand turn. Because when you turn right on a closed road, that's an illegal infraction. So why wouldn't I be charged with that? Because there was no signage. The photographs that the cops submitted, there was no signage. There was no signage. It goes to causation. Look it up. Look up causation. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. What a total kangaroo court. What a scam. What an absolute scam that just was. You guys just witnessed it. You just witnessed it. And then she says, I'm recording, and she goes, no, you're not supposed to record. We're just going to move on. No, you're not supposed to record. We're just going to move on. I already told you I was. You didn't say to stop. I have a video, so if you charge me with a crime, I got a video of you saying, we're just going to go forward. Not stop recording. You didn't say that. That never came out of your mouth, or I would have clicked stop, but you didn't say that. As you watch my video right now, and you wonder why there's thousands and thousands of people that follow this account, because of what you just did, ma'am. Because of what you just did as you watch this video. Everybody here, the people know, everybody knows you're watching this video, Your Honor. Magistrate, I'm not sure what they called you. Everybody knows that you're watching the video. You're watching what I'm saying right now. And the fact that I would want due process of the law, that I would want my evidence submitted, that I would want to question the officer on what caused the infraction, an infraction of the law, and now it's going to be elevated to where these guys want to throw me in a dungeon. They want to put me in a jail. They want to put me in a jail. That's crazy. It's just crazy. And that's what we're facing every single day in America. If you get pulled over in the United States, don't think you're going to get a fair trial. You wonder why people run when you're watching the YouTube video and you're going, just comply, don't run, just comply, don't run. You just saw what happens. You just saw it. Sean at Long Island Audits, he's dealing with the exact same thing. We cannot get a fair trial in the United States of America. Due process is not being followed. What that woman who's claiming to be the law, what she just did was so fundamentally wrong to every single principle of America that I've ever studied. I've never in my life seen someone say, you can't ask those questions. Why can't I ask those questions? Oh, because you're not being charged with making an illegal turn onto a closed road. Well, why would you make a turn onto a closed road? How come? Let common sense take over here. Why would you take a right-hand turn into a closed road for what? Why would I do that? Think about it. Tempe is packed full of cops. Tempe is like cop central. So why would I take a right on a road that's closed? Why would I do that when I went to Arizona State? So I know that Tempe's full of cops. Why would I do that? What an absolute scam. And why am I upset? Because it's going to take more time out of my life. Because I'm going to appeal that, and then I'm going to take it to federal district court. And here's the worst part about it: you guys heard, and for your honor who's watching this, your honor, your magistrate who's watching this, you just showed in a microcosm example the court system in America and how it's treating people. And now you're searching for a way to charge me with a bigger crime. He recorded that. He showed people what was going on in here. Julian Assange, Edward Snowden. You're not allowed to show people what's going on. Don't show them the inner workings behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. In this case, it was a woman behind the curtain who had already made her mind up. What about my evidence? Why wasn't my evidence submitted? They just lost the email? The email doesn't exist? I have an outbound email. The email doesn't exist? It's just not there anymore? But my evidence wasn't submitted? My evidence isn't there? How come my evidence isn't there? Why isn't my evidence there? I mean, what an absolute total farce. What a farce. What an absolute farce. Really. I mean, you guys just saw it, didn't you? You guys just saw it. Am I mistaken here? Can anybody correct me? Can anybody say to me that that was a fair trial? That was fair? The cop said this. I said, did you submit any evidence to that? No, I didn't. So it's just your testimony. Okay. Well, and then the cop said that, and I said, okay, did you? He said there was. I said there was no signage. I said the pictures you submitted shows there's no signage. That's right, but that's not relevant. Oh, okay. And then you have a dash cam in your car that would have shown that I pulled into the far lane, but you didn't submit that. No, I didn't. So again, there's no evidence. No. So now we can just see it's the cops working with the judge hand in hand to make sure that you're convicted of a crime. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Your Honor, I didn't try to make the court look bad. I just tried to show what the court actually is. And you helped me do that. You helped me. You helped show America exactly what the court is. That's what you did. And since you said it was against the rules to stream it, I took the video down. I put it on privacy. I'm not going to delete the video because I want to have evidence in case I'm charged with a crime that you never said stop recording. You didn't say that. You said let's move forward. So I just want to be clear about that. Yeah, there's, and just so you guys know, against this judge who's watching this video, how are you, Your Honor? I'm glad you're here. There's no recourse against her. Tenney versus Brandoff. Tenney-Brandhove. Tenney versus Brandoff first gave legislators immunity and then gave judges and prosecutors immunity, then extended again into Pearson versus Ray to give police immunity. So every bit of the criminal justice system, from the legislator who writes the law, the judge in the courtroom, the prosecutor to the police, all of them are immune. They're all immune. And why do we have 2.5 million people in prison? Did Pearson versus Ray happen in 1967? Yes, it did. Was it based on segregation? Yes, it was. Wow, that's amazing. So it's based on race. Yes, it is. Okay. So then Tenney versus Brandoff, is that based on the idea of a witch hunt trying to find something that's un-American? Yes, it was called the Tenney Committee. And it was based on the idea that the Tenney Committee was going to find anything in America that was un-American. Sounds like the FBI, doesn't it? And did that turn into a tyrannical outhouse? Yes, it did. So now, because of Tenney versus Brandoff, this judge, who clearly denied me due process, who clearly spoke over me, didn't let me ask any questions, who clearly didn't let me go down the line of questioning and the avenue of defense that I wanted, cut me off and said, no, you can't ask it that way. And then she said that I'm trying to make fun of the court. I'm making a mockery of the court. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. That was me. Or she didn't allow me to ask questions. She didn't allow me. And then she just took the officer's testimony as gospel. Even though the pictures and the evidence he submitted don't show a blocked road. There's no blocked road. They don't show any signage. But those things are irrelevant. Only his testimony is relevant. I'm going to appeal this, as you know. Of course I'm going to appeal it. Of course I'm going to appeal it. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? Don't think they're not going to put me in, they're going to try to put me in a dungeon. They're going to try to throw me in a dungeon. For what? What'd I do? A U-turn at midnight when nobody's around? There was nobody around. Nobody. That intersection right there at Rural and University, dead. Nobody there. I went to go take a right. Road was closed. I looked left, looked right. There was no cars coming in any direction. Made the turn, went down. The cop came speeding out from 150 yards away, put his lights on, and pulled me over. He's hiding to try to find me and fee me. Where's the victim? Is there a victim here? Is there any victim? Was there any victim in that case? And you wonder why I do what I do. You wonder. You wonder why so many people attach to what we're doing. You just saw it. You just saw it. And now they're at the Arizona court watching my stream saying, oh, is he saying anything bad about me? Is he saying, I didn't say anything bad about you. You showed yourself. You showed who you are. You showed that you're all in it together. You all gave each other immunity, from the legislator to the judge to the prosecutor to the cop. You all have immunity. Nothing can happen to you. But to me and my brethren, to the commoners of America, we get thrown into the dungeon where we all laugh and joke and go, don't drop the soap, hoo hoo hoo, until it happens to you. Until you're getting sexually assaulted. And what did you do? You made a U-turn, and then the judge didn't like how you talked to her. So now you're in the dungeon, and now you're being raped. And your life will never be the same. You'll never be the same man. They want to take the swagger out of you. They want to take the attitude out of you. They want to take the moxie out of you that makes you you. The spirit, the soul inside of you that makes you strong. They want to strip that out of you. You will submit to the state. The state is the sovereign, not the people. We have a Hobbesian theory of social contract. We don't have a Rousseau theory of social contract. Rousseauian. It doesn't exist in America. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You guys just saw it. You guys just saw it. Your Honor, I'm going to appeal, and then eventually I'm going to get Tenney versus Brandoff overturned. Eventually in my lifetime, Tenney versus Brandoff is going to go. Tenney's got to go. The fact that that woman gets absolute immunity to treat me any way she wants, and there's absolutely no recourse for me, is absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. She's allowed to tell me how I can question, that no transparency. Forget transparency in America. You will not expose that the court is not just. You will not expose that the court has been corrupted by power. Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what we're dealing with. Did you hear? You will stop talking. And what did I do? Because I can't challenge her in a court of law, because the only way you can challenge that woman is in a court of public opinion. And she doesn't want to face the court of public opinion. I'm going to find out her name, and I'm going to do every step I can to get her sanctioned, to get her. I'll do everything I possibly can within my own personal power as a citizen of the United States. And maybe I'll run for governor of California, of Arizona, because I don't want that to anybody to ever feel like I just felt just now, where we start off at the beginning, I say I'm recording, and then she goes, we're just going to proceed. But she didn't say stop recording. She never said that. So she said there's rules, but we're just going to go on. Okay, but you didn't say stop recording. You just said there's rules. Okay, there's rules. But I informed you I was recording. You didn't say stop recording. So it's just absolutely preposterous. You guys are we right here as a unit, as this overturned Terry versus Ohio team, this overturned Terry team that we've created here. You guys are witnessing what the court is like now. Remember, I was pulled over for an infraction of the law, giving 2 fines for $500, and there's no victim. There's no victim. There's nobody in the intersection who complained that I almost hit them. That's not true. The cop is making things up, but his word is gospel. There's nobody who was hit by the car. There was no problem there, but now I got to pay the state $500. I have to give the state $500 for what? Because I turned around on a road? And you wonder why America's in disarray. She gave me a $500 fine for doing what? For turning around on asphalt at midnight where nobody was around, and she charges me $500? How many people make $500 a day? I don't. Do you make $500 a day? I don't make that much money. I just don't. Sorry. I'm a commoner. I'm a regular person. I'm common. I'm not some elitist. I wasn't born with $20,000 a day to spend. I wasn't born with that. I don't have that amount of money. I'm just a regular person. You guys are seeing I create products and then I offer a value for the product and I sell the product. I offer a value for my services. I teach. I give you a map to follow the teachings on. I offer a value. I sell a product. I make a little bit of money. I continue down the road. She charged me $500 when there's no victim. There's no weeping babe. There's no injured man. There's no damaged child. Roll call, you guys. Hit down here. Hit the number 1 button, please. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Drop down right in here where you guys are watching from, what city, state you're in. And now if I had called her a damned racketeer, those would be fighting words according to Chaplinsky. If I'd called her a goddamn fascist, those would be fighting words according to Chaplinsky. Right? And that's what we're looking at here. That's what we're looking at. $500 fine for turning around on asphalt in the middle of the night when nobody was around. $500. That's incredible. And you wonder why we're on the verge of a civil war in America. That's why the government has used us as a piggy bank. And that's what this woman just did. You're trying to embarrass the court? Ma'am, you did that all on your own. You did that all on. Now go ahead and sift through your Rolodex of laws to try to charge me with a crime to put me in a dungeon because you don't like me. Well, to be honest, I don't like you either. So, but the difference between me and you have the power to try to hurt me because you don't like me. I don't like you either. Fair enough? I don't like you either. I don't like you either. I'm allowed to say that. I don't respect you and I don't like you. I'm allowed to not respect you. You just denied me due process. When my evidence was submitted, you should have stopped the case and said, wait a minute, you have evidence to submit. You submitted evidence and it's not here. Wait a minute, we have to continue this. But instead, ma'am, you chose to do something different and charge me $500 when there's no victim. And no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. You showed what you are. I didn't expose the court. You did. She fines me as much as my car costs every month. She fines me the same amount that my car costs me a month because I made a turn on a road with nobody around, and you had that clown in that car, that ass clown pig. You saw him. He's a clown. License and registration. He just wanted to get a ticket to me so he could turn and burn, give someone else a ticket. I'm getting pissed off the more and more I talk, so I better stop talking here pretty quick. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. $500 fine for turning around, and forget, it doesn't matter the fine. I'm going to appeal that, and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to sue the city of Tempe. I have no choice. I don't have any choice. This is what the criminal justice system in America is. This is what the court system in America is. You're trying to make a mockery of the court. No, ma'am. The court makes a mockery of itself. The court itself in America has become a joke. If you have enough money and you hire the right super lawyer and you have the right connections, then you can get out of it. But if you don't, well, then you're going to pay a $500 fine. A $500 fine for what? For what? For what'd you do? What'd you do wrong? What'd you do? You turned around on a road. We're living in just an absolute garbage society where the judge can decide that she's going to fine me $500 and tell me that I'm making fun of the court. You just fined me $500 for turning around on a road, and then you didn't allow my evidence in. You directed how I would ask questions, and you said I'm the one making fun of the court system. after you didn't let me ask questions. We already got that. The signage isn't the issue. No, it is the issue. The signage is the issue. You'll find out in appeal. You'll find out in appeal. I went to change judges because you're biased, and you said, oh, no, I'm not going to allow that. The bias shows. The bias shows. Are you streaming this? Are you streaming this? What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of transparency? Why are you afraid of transparency? Why are all the courts in America afraid of actually showing the court on a video? Why can't we show the trial on a video? Why can't we show it? Why can't we show it? Thanks, work. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. Why can't we show it? Why can't we show all the courts in America? Because what you're going to find out is that everybody is railroaded. The majority of people in courts in America are railroaded by an overeducated prosecution that goes against undereducated citizens. And they figure out ways where you don't know the process of law, so they're going to railroad you. And that's what's going on in America. And that's why that woman is watching this. The judge, she's watching this. How you doing, ma'am? Trying to figure out a way to lock me away. He's bad. He's showing that the courts are corrupted. I didn't show it. You showed it. I just streamed it. I just showed that you wouldn't be fair. And it's true. You wouldn't. You didn't. You didn't allow me to ask my questions. You let the cop get out of everything. He submitted no evidence. His testimony alone is enough to convict me. So meaning that's the same old BS in America. Whatever the cop says is right, and whatever happens to you, doesn't matter. The cop said so. The cop said so. You guys just saw it. You got something burning down here, David. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, you guys, I got my trifold is going. You guys get the trifold. I heard it. You're burning something too. I got the trifold up. Check out that trifold. I got to get out of here. There's people here. I will. Hey, Maurice, let me say hello to you. Let me say hello. All right, let me get out of here, guys. I love you. Thank you for coming by. You guys go by the website, Delete Laws, and check out the trifold I got up. I got to get out of here. A lot of people here. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming by. Thank you for the super chat, Workaholic. I appreciate you, man.